Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to have a go at modelling and texturing this Darth Revan helmet. So we'll do the modelling inside of Fusion, and then inside of Blender we'll bring it in and we'll have a go at texturing, lighting and rendering everything. So we'll end up with something that looks kind of like that. I hope you enjoy following along, and if you got questions, leave a comment down below or email me at design@outlook.com. Okay, first thing we're going to do is bring in a reference image, so we can go to Insert and Canvas, or we can click on this button here and find where we got our reference image. So I've got it on my desktop. I'm going to grab this one here. I'm going to come onto this front plane, zoom in a little bit, and then what I'm going to do is hit this button here for scale, and I'm going to put in like 10 just to make that bigger, like that. So the front, I'm going to have this one, on the side I'll have this, so I need to sort of like tweak it a little bit. Let's right click, edit canvas. I'm going to bring this as close to the center, so this is the origin, so I'm going to make this as centered as I can do, something like that. I'll bring in another one, so same again, canvas, grab this, and I'll scale it up, and it'll be 10 as well, but actually it's going to be a bit more because this is the side view, so actually if that's the front view we're going with, this is going to be quite a bit smaller, but we don't know for sure yet, so let's just bring it down a little bit. Way bigger than that though. Down a little bit, a little bit. Is that looking about right? Yeah, okay. There we go. So, I'm also going to give it a save. So auto kicks in. So like with all the other Star Wars helmets I've done, I'm going to start by using form. So coming to this purple box here to create a form. And now I'm going to grab a quad ball. I'm going to click on this plane here, click on the origin, like that. Now, span faces, I'm going to increase that to 3. And then I'm going to click on OK. And I'm going to click and hold down Shift and double click to select that whole edge and hit delete. And then I can just double click there and hit delete as well. I'm then going to go right click and edit form. So I get my edit form tools. I'm going to grab this edge here. If I grab this part of the widget, this is the scale one. So if I start to scale it and hit 0, it will scale it flat. And then what I'm going to do is edit form again. I'm going to drag. Now if I just drag it like that, it will stretch it. If I hold down Alt and drag it, it will extrude it and bring more bodies, more pieces to it. Before I do that, I'm going to move it up into position a little bit. So let's go, before I do that, sorry, let's go move copy, grab it and just drag it up a little bit like that. And then let's edit form, go to bodies, and I'm going to scale it in just a little bit like that. That's already somewhat close to the shape we want. Then I'm going back to edit form again. Let's go to edge, grab this edge. I'm going to have done Alt and drag there, and then I'm going to use the scale tool to scale it in. And then do the same again. Hold on Alt, drag it down, and then scale it in so it's keeping within. I'm using this as my main line here, like that. Again, Alt, drag in. Probably one more. Drag in. Like that. So now what we want to do is make sure we're getting the rest of the shape. So I'm going to come to the side. Let's right click, edit form, and this time I'm going to grab vertices. So I'm going to box drag like that and start to pull it into position a little bit more. And we'll box drag it so that we make sure we get the bits at the back as well. Working our way around, getting the shape as close as we can do. Something like that is good. Yeah, something like that. So we've got that overall basic sort of shape. Let's just come to the front, check we're happy. Yeah, I think we're good. So what I'm going to do is finish form. I'm going to come up to the surface, create thicken. So I select this, and then I'm going to drag it in a little bit to give it a little bit of thickness, like that. Now obviously that isn't the shape we actually want, so what we're going to do is start cutting it away now. So I'm going to back to solids, create a sketch on this side plane here. I'm going to start using line tool, so let's start coming out a little bit. Something like that. I'm going to hide bodies in canvas for a second so you see this line. I'm going to use the fillet command in sketching, which is different to the one in bodies, just to make this line a little bit more of a nicer transition. Something like that. I'm going to finish sketch, bring back my body, and what we'll do is split body, grab that body, grab this tool. I can then remove, so to come down to my bodies, right, and this one I can right click and remove. That's already starting to look more like the shape that we want. And then what I'm actually going to do is let's create a sketch. And I'm going to come down here, let's do line to about there, like that. Finish sketch. Again, I'm going to hide the bodies, hide the canvas for a second. I'm actually going to go back to that sketch and edit it because I need to fillet this a little bit as well. So I'm just going to fillet this just a little bit, just so I've got a bit of a smoother transition, like that. Bring all of that back. Split body again, like that. Now this one needs to be a bit smaller, so what I'm going to do is grab those bodies, or those faces rather, and I'm going to press pull and just bring it down a little bit. Something like that. We will join it back together in a little bit, but not just yet. Let's start cutting some of these details in. So I'm going to stay on this side plane. I'm going to create a sketch. And let's start drawing in. Here, so I'm going to come across, keeping it as straight as I can do. I'll come down. I'm then going to use an arc tool. This bit here, so let's connect here to here. Then come back to the line tool, pressing L for line. Come down. Come out like that. And I'm going to grab that fillet tool inside the sketch again so I can make this a smoother transition. Leave that as a sharp edge. Let's then create an offset, drag that out a bit. But before we do that, let's go back. Before we did that fillet, let's offset it now. Drag that in a bit. Something like that. Now let's fillet, because this one's not got as harsh a fillet. Let's drag this up a bit, something like that. Let's fillet this one because it's got a bit more of a fillet to it. These two fillets here can be the same. turn off this button so I can see what's going on. Grab a bit here. That. I'll do the same. There to there. And there to there. Bring all of that back. Now we want this to be a close profile, so it doesn't matter where, but I'm going to just draw that line across there. And then this line here, same as that, I'm going to draw across like that. And you can see now, if I hover over it, it's completely blue. So I can finish sketch. I'm going to get rid of my canvas. I select this body here, Control C, Control V to copy and paste it and hide one of them. I'm going to hit E and drag across. I'm going to change this to symmetric, so it's cutting both. You see it's cutting out, but I want that to be the intersect. So I click OK. So you see I've now got this part of the mask done. Let's bring this back, and then we're going to come to the front because we've also got this part here. So what we're going to do, let's hide this bit. We can also hide that bit. I'm going to need another Control C, Control V copy of that one. Come to the front. Control start sketch, sorry. I'm just going to find the middle. I'm going to snap to that point there, just so if I go alpha line, get the triangle, I know that's directly in the middle. With these masks, it's always easy to do everything symmetrically. So let's create sketch, and then we're going to start to trace around. That. Turn off that body. So we've now got that profile. Let's create mirror. Mirror across that mirror line there. Finish sketch. Bring back that body. E to extrude and grab those two profiles. Drag it through. Again, let's change that to intersect. So if we bring that back, you see we're starting to get this that lines up. Let's, as before, we're going to split this in half. So alpha line, justify the middle again. Like that. What we're going to do is let's split along this line here. We'll bring back that sketch. Do the same again, split body, and that's split like that. I'm going to just remove one half. And then just mirror all back later. So now I'm going to create a sketch. Do a line, come up to there, and then create arc, arc, snap to that corner, like that. Let's finish sketch. And then this we want to Control C, Control V to copy and paste. Hide one. We are going to put this body along there. And then we'll do one more sketch because this bit is slightly raised as well. So let's create a sketch. An alpha line. That will probably should have done. Let's go back and edit this sketch. Modify, extend, like that. Edit that sketch a bit more. Do an alpha line and come across. Let's just trim off that extra bit we don't want. There we go. Now I can edit feature like that. Let's not select that line. Let's just select this line there. Then let's split the body with that sketch again. Same again. Split this body with that same line. There we go. Right, so now we hide all these sketches. We've got our parts there. So if we were to bring back our canvas, so this needs to come out. Let's go to press pull. Let's grab this profile here and then bring back this. I'm going to drag it out a little bit. Let's do 0.5. Okay, we're going to then do the same thing, grabbing this body. Five. I'm going to bring this, but not as much. Let's do like 3. Yeah, something like 0.3. And then if we bring this canvas back, body a second, so that gives me slightly more. So let's pull. Let's do 0.6, 7, something like that. Okay, so we've got the basic sort of shape of that bit of his mask. Let's be quite a bit more actually. Let's change this, press pull. Oh no. 0.9. That won't be too much. Maybe not. Right, I'm going to just combine it. I might want to uncombine it later. But let's just do it for now and see. Okay, so we've got this. Let's, just so I can know I can always find the middle of that, I'm going to construct an offset plane and just grab this surface. So I now always got a plane that's directly in the middle. I'm going to click that and hit feature, just turn it off for now. Let's bring back the main part of our helmet there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is to combine, cut, that will make sure I keep it. So I do that. Then if I turn this part of the mask off, you see that that fits into there. Let's turn that back on. Let's create a mirror. Let's select that mirror plane like that. Do we need to round off any little bits? Probably a little bit, but not a great deal. Okay, we do have a little bit of a cut in there, don't we? So let's do that. Right, sketch. Oh, for a rectangle, let's grab a center rectangle so we can snap. Let's do that. Hit E to extrude. Drag through. Like that. Now, I have autosave, but I'm going to save this. Just get in the habit of regularly saving just in case Fusion decides to try and crash on us. Okay, I'm not going to fill in any corners or edges just yet. I'm going to leave it as it is. Let's bring this back along with that. So let's combine cut. This little bit here we don't want. Well, let me just delete it. No, but we have got our mirror plane, so let's grab our mirror plane, grab that, split body, right click, remove the bit we don't want, split body. When you do that, we just remove that bit. Remove. Let's then mirror that across. Create, mirror, select that bit. Repeat mirror. Let's grab this bit here, mirror plane, like that. Now if you bring back that bit we don't need anymore. We still do. There we go. So let's come back to the side, bring back our canvas. Okay, so now we're going to have the actual visor part. Let's do a line and come straight across to like there. Create arc, 3-point arc. Line, come straight across. Again, we want to make sure it's a closed profile. Let's turn off opposing canvas. It's a smooth transition anyway, so that's fine. Bring this back. And again, this body. No, this body now. This one. Control C, Control V to copy and paste. Hide one. E to extrude. Drag it all the way through. Do it symmetric. And change that to intersect. And then we've got where our visor is. Let's bring this back. Now we do want to press pull that a little bit as well. So let's do press pull. Not quite as much. So we did 0.5. Let's do like 0.4. Let's try that. See how that looks. Let's bring back the main part of our helmet. Combine this part. Cut. Keep. There we go. So the front's not far away from being finished. Let's just check. Right. Let's try and get this sort of cut here if we can do. And these little bolts are quite easy to do as well. So let's it's just that bit we want to keep. Everything else needs to go. Okay, it's going to be a little bit of trial and error. Let's create a sketch. I think the best way, let's try. Maybe not that way. Let's do. Okay. But then I'm going to grab this sketch. Let's drag this line in a bit. Let's try a bit more of like a. Let's see if we can play around with that a little bit. Can we go to modify chamfer? Well, let's forget about this for a second and come back to that later. If we even want to do it, let's bring everything back. Right, so let's start on the back and the side. So let's create sketch. I'm going to get rid of this bit here first. Let's do a circle. And then I'm going to do a line. I'm just going to turn it off so I can see what's going on. There we go. And let's come down. Like this. Sketch. Turn it back on. Move copy, rotate that around a bit. Made that a bit too long. Like that. So much like before, let's grab this back piece, Control-C, Control-V, copy and paste, hide one of them, E to extrude and drag through. Change that to intersect. So we've now got this piece. Like before, we're going to press pull. Make that a bit thicker. Oh. piece, press pull. Okay, let's just bring back these pieces, check. Okay, I'm going to undo that. There we go. Now what I'm actually going to do, let's go back to the original split body, which I think is probably here. And this bit here, I'm going to delete. And let's come all back. Extrude. Change that to intersect. Let's now press pull this bit. Put in a little bit. Okay, so that's done that bit correctly. Right, I'm going to go back before I do the offset again, actually. And let's cut a few more pieces out. So what we want to do, obviously, is the back bit as well. So let's turn off all of these bits. I've just got that. Let's come to the back. We've got the back piece because we've got it here. So let's take this, right click, edit canvas, drag it over. I'm going to create a sketch. Much like before, we need to find the middle while we're doing it. There we go. Let's then use this line to draw out all these little details. Yeah, it's pretty much just using the same sort of tools as before, just lots of lines, lots of arcs. Three-point arc. Close the profile. I can now grab that, which is what we want. Just check if we want to smooth off anything. For now, probably not, but we'll come back if we need to. Finish sketch. Drag it through. Again, change that to intersect. Like that. Now we should have, yeah, those little bits there that we can mirror across in a moment. Let's just check if there's any other bits we want to. Did I forget to copy and paste that back bit? I feel like I did. Let's take this, Control C, Control V to copy and paste. Hide one. Bring back that sketch. Need to extrude. Grab that profile. Drag it through. Change it to intersect. There we go. Let's then come to press pull. I'll grab profile here. Pieces are sticking out a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to give this a little save, make sure everything is safe. Let's go to combine, cut, I'm going to grab those. I'm just going to turn off all the bits at the front for now. There we go. Then split this body there. You can remove that. And just focus on this half. Okay, you want some pipes coming through there. So let's do, we want those coming out there as well. Right, hopefully we don't have to go backwards in time. Let's have a little look at this. Let's pull this. Get away with it. There you go. Yeah, that did work. Fine. All good. So let's do these pipes. So we can get rid of that for now. And that bit. Let's create sketch. Let's do a better sketch than that. Let's do up line, come across. Extend, there you go. And then let's fit that. Let's then offset. Be offset. like that. Finish sketch. We're going to split body by selecting these tools here, like that. Turn off the canvas for a second. I'll just combine those two together again. And what we're going to do, I feel like I missed part of that split body. Let's bring that sketch. Split body. Has that done it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, fine. Create pipe. Change this to new body. Let's bring back just test something. Okay, I can't do that. Okay. Create. Let's not do that pipe. Create. New body. Check against the canvas actually if that's too thick or not. That's probably about right. Doesn't matter that it's overrunning because we will. Oh. Cut off the excess in a minute. Don't know why it's doing it on the other side there. Okay, let's hide these bits. That. Let's pull that a little bit. Let's pull a little bit. Yeah, so now what we can do, let's bring back which bit? here, what we can do is let's combine everybody U, cut, everybody U, keep, repeat. So we can find this extra bit here and remove it. Same again. There we go. We then want to find that bit. Same again. Combine, cut, get rid of the extra. Bit here we don't want. Okay, so if we hide that bit, bring back, let's hide all these bits for now. Bring back all these bits we cut off. I accidentally removed the wrong piece. Let's combine all these back together again, but combine and not keep tools. Like that. Now if we bring all these back, I think one of these pipes I've made a mistake. There you go, new body. That's what we wanted to do. Combine. Get rid of that bit. There you go, that's the bit I don't want. And then what we want to do is just trim along the bottom here. So let's create a sketch. P to project. Grab this line here, just so I can snap onto it. Like that. Flip body. We're going to do one more time. Let's come across here. Sketch back. Remove those bits. I guess we've now got this pipe bit here. We've got this thing here. What's going on here? Okay, that was the wrong combine tool there, wasn't it? Talk about you, tool buddy you. There you go. There you go. That looks more like it. Bit here. Let's pull. Drag that through. Delete that step. There we go. Okay, we're slowly getting there. It's just this bit. Why can I not do this? Anybody? Combine you. There you go. Got there in the end. So we've got those little details there. Look at the canvas a second. We've got like these cuts in here as well. So let's turn all of this off. Okay, let's create a sketch. That. Finish sketch. Let's split body. Not combine. Split body. Grab all of these tools. Maybe I'll do it one at a time. Don't extend it. Does that let me do it? Again. off. Let's just combine those back together again. So that's where we're going to want, like, let's try this. Yeah, that looks about right. Let's try that with the other steps and see how else it looks. Okay, and then we'll repeat on the other side. Looks good. Then let's just do a very slight fillet of little letters. Okay, let's then combine all that back together again. Let's start bringing bits back. See how it's starting to look. Let's try chamfering some edges a little bit. Looking close to finish that bit. Start sketch. Project on here. Do a circle. Do a 2-point circle so we can snap on. While we do that, let's hide everything that isn't that bit. There we go. There we go. Then we can go in the middle, come in. Grab that, come up. take this, Control-C, Control-V, copy and paste. Extrude, drag up, intersect, press pull, come up. What's not going to let me do that now? Okay, fine, let's do it this way. Let's not do that. Let's turn up the canvas. Let's do an offset plane. Canvas. Bring that up a bit. Quick sketch. Down a little bit. Let's chamfer. Two distances. Something like that. Do across, offset. Create pipe. Quite a bit smaller. Bring back that sketch. There we go. Then let's see if we can fill it. Okay. All I need to do really is bring that into position. So let's move copy. Let's then hit extrude to grab this bit, drag it through. So we're going to join that. Right, I'm going to try something and it might not work. I don't want these cuts in it. If I hit delete, will it bring it back? Oh, it does. Perfect. There we go. Tidied that up. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. Right, let's then create a pipe. I'm going to join this, but we want it bigger. Do a new body. Why is that not all the way across? Create pipe. Sometimes I think Fusion just does not like cooperating. Heat pipe. Anybody? Why are you not working? Fine. If you don't cooperate, we won't use pipe. Let's just fill it instead. Like that. Right. Let's bring all this back. What? Oh, I made a copy of that, didn't I? Remove. There we go. I think we've just. If I bring back this up for a second, we've got most of the details finished now. Let's just play around with the shape here a little bit. Here to do, we've got a couple of bolts on the front, and then I think we're pretty much done. We've got to mirror some stuff over and then just refining any like edges and that sort of thing. So let's do the same thing as before. Okay, it's just like, fine, that looks pretty easy to do. Let's create a sketch. A little bit. Sketch. I'm doing the sketch the most awkward way physically possible for some reason. Let's come there, there, grab that, drag down. There you go, that's more like it. And then that. I don't know what we're going to do here. It's not what I want that sketch. Let's turn off some sketches in a way. There we go. Just mirror that across. I'm going to bring this line in a little bit. E to extrude. Let's drag this up a little bit. I just look at these corners. And fill it a little bit. Okay, so now let's just go to create pattern, select the pattern, change that to features, and let's grab that axis, grab one of these circles. Let's just like that. So now we've got this body. We can take this, up, move copy, get into position. Go back onto the bottom actually. I think what I'm actually going to do is bugging out a little bit. Turn off our canvas. I'm going to combine those two. I don't know if this will work. Split body along that. Is that going to work? Or are you going to crash on me? Okay, that might have been a mistake. Fusion does not like what I just tried to do. Okay, sorry about that. Fusion crashed on me for a second, but then I realized that I never actually got a hole into that body, so I'm just going to turn it off. And then what I'm going to do is let's just move this body into position. As close as we can get it. Something like that, and then we can hit E to extrude. Drag it through. I'm going to say new body, but I'm going to combine those two. And then what I'm going to do is combine cut, target body U, tool body U, cut and keep, because then I can get rid of this bit here. Move like that. And that looks better anyway. Okay. So I think that's it. I do know that these pipes probably supposed to be a bit thicker, but I kind of like them like that. Otherwise, I'm going to make everything quite a bit thicker, which I don't want to do. This here needs to be extended out a little bit. Like that. Everything lines up pretty well with the pipe, so I don't want to risk going back and messing that up. So I think actually the last thing was a couple of cuts to go over here. I've got a couple of bolts to do it, so let's do those. So I need to bring this back. That is edit canvas, drag back over. Let's just do a sketch over here. Circle. Need to extrude a little bit. Circle. circle, need to extrude, bring it down a little bit. Let's do a chamfer. Something like that. Let's do the chamfer here. And then I'm just gonna fill it on top of those chamfers so that it's not a perfectly sharp edge when we texture because it look weird. Something like that. Let's bring that into position a little bit. Move copy. What's that look? A bit big actually. Let's go to scale. Like that. Now let's copy a little bit more. Like that. Yeah, that's more like it. Right, let's just give that a combined cut. So we'll go toggle to U, toggle to U, cut and keep. Right, I'm gonna give this a save, mirror everything over that needs to mirror over. So thankfully we've got that mirror plane made at the start. So create mirror, let's start mirroring pieces over. Being careful here not to join everything together. If I want these two to be joined, and I want that to be joined. Create mirror, select. I'm going to join that like that, so that everything is joined. Create mirror, create mirror, I'm going to turn off playing for a second. I think we're pretty much done. So give this a save. And also all that is left to do is like fill it off all these corners just to make it look right when you start the texture stuff, because you don't want perfectly straight corners when you're texturing because it starts to look very unrealistic. And scaling is probably going to be over here, so let's undo that. Let's try to fill it. Look here. There's nothing particularly exciting about this particular bit. It's just one of those necessary evils. Just to make sure it all looks right. I think actually might be close to being finished because we already did all the ones over here. Okay, so I'm going to save. I'm going to stop this part. So we'll call this part 1 of modelling the Darth Revan helmet. I'll do a part 2 where we texture it and that sort of thing inside of Blender, but I hope you enjoyed following along. If you've got any questions, leave a comment down below or email me at design@outlook.com. Okay, so we've got our Revan helmet inside of Blender, so we're going to start having a go at texturing it. So let's come to the top where we've got Blender Kit installed. Let's have a little look at some painted metal, see what we can get. I'm going to change that to texture based. Let's take something like this one. And we want this to be like a red color. Let's get the shader editor up. Okay, add a color ramp. I'm going to make this red. A bit darker. Something like that. So I'm going to set up try planar mapping. So let's come here and go Shift A and type in value node and put that into the scale. I'm going to change vector to object. I'm going to change all these to box. We'll do blend is 0.3, so box 3. And this means we don't need to unwrap it because we've got try and planar mapping set up. So now we can come over to our value node. Around the scale that we're happy with it. There you have something like that. Okay, so we've got that set up. Now, looking at reference images, I kept finding ones where either the main body of the helmet was like silver or like a greenish hint, particularly to the front part, and then we've got like a different metal here. So what I think we'll try, let's grab that and then go to this one, Control L to link material, but let's make this a separate material by clicking on this button here. And then let's try and make this let's see how this looks. And link those materials together. Let's keep that for now and then see what it looks like with all the other materials on there as well. So let's get something for the visor there. So let's get quite like this plastic. Take the roughness away and make that quite glossy. And again, let's Shift A, add a value node, object. And then let's change this to box. Let's put that in there. There you go, something like that, I think. Looks pretty good. Then let's come to the back. And then we just want like a normal non-painted metal for back here, I think. Have a look at some reference images. Yeah, I feel like they're all just silvery metal on the back. So let's just get like, let's see what this looks like. The whole point of doing like this tripod mapping is just so you got a bit more control over. Why won't it let me do that? There you go. Rather than having to just like Q project it, Doesn't always look that good. I mean, most of the time it does, but okay, let's try. Oh, that looks pretty good. I'll miss these pieces here. Like that. Right. Let's do the same down here as well. Grab those. Okay, I like the paste texture. I think that's pretty good. Do we want to play around with that colour a little bit, maybe? Okay, now let's have a look like some dented material. Okay, let's try this, see if it works. Let's take, where was it? That one there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is Shift A, I'm just going to add a plane. I'm going to take this material, grab it there. So if I come to the shader editor here, select it all, Control C to copy. And let's come back onto the main part of the helmet and paste it there. Okay, so we've got that underneath. Again, let's just set up. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, so we've got those dents and scratches. What I want to do is mix these two materials together. So what I'm going to do is go Shift A, add a mix shader node. I'm going to take the green one, because that's the one I want as the top material, and put that in there. I'm going to take this dented one and actually get rid of that output, and take this and plug it into the bottom. And then take the shader and put it into that output there. You see, we start to get those dents going through. Now we can play around with what we don't care about. Is let's take our colour and put it into there, so we're not changing the colour of it. Okay, but we are getting those dents and scratches and things. Let's take that displacement, put that in there. There you go, so you're getting a bit more of the dents here coming through. And we try to recreate this. Okay, let's there you go, you see it's dense and stuff is starting to come a little bit more. I'll do the same for this one here. Let's do Control-C, Control-V. Let's grab Shift A and mix shader node. Plug that into the top bit. Plug this into the bottom bit. And plug that into the output. Get rid of that bit because we don't want it. And we've not set up box tripod mapping yet, so we've got an object in there. Shift A value and put that in. I'm going to change this to box 0.3 again. Much like before, we don't want the colour of this material, so we're going to take the colour from our current material and put that up there. Let's take the displacement, put that down there. Then we'll come to the null map. Let's increase that to 1. Okay. I'm then going to use one-click age. Let's grab that. Let's add some grunge. Like a little line effect. Grab some edgeware. Now edgeware doesn't come up until you've got cycles on, so we'll turn cycles on in a second. Let's change this to cycles. GPU. Something quite small. And then so you can see it, let's go Shift A, light, and bring that up. There you go, see you've got this edge work going on a little bit here. Let's change the colour of that. Like that. Let's play around a bit more with dirt. There you go, it's starting to make the helmet look a bit more worn. I'll do the same to the red bits. Let's do a bit grunge, didn't we? There you go, starting to look quite nice. Let's have some dirt. this one here, if we went to render view, I'm getting this purple effect. So I think that's probably when I plugged back in this, it didn't work. So let's take that in. Let's have a look. Okay. There you go. Looks shiny. Now I want to make sure I'm getting rid of this displacement. How's that looking? There, it looks more like it. Right, then let's come to the back. Oops. So fast, add some grunge, some details. Okay, let's see how that's looking. So we'll come to the top. Let's just grab this light, scale it down. We'll have that light pointing behind it. See here, we've got this like rim light going on. Let's then come to the top, Shift A, grab light. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to change the edgeware color on here, I think. I'll probably change the power of that light. It's not quite as. Maybe we change the color. Let's do that for a second. Come to the top, I'm going to grab this, Shift D to duplicate, bring it over. Like that. Okay, let's change the power of that one. And then what I'm going to do is let's Shift A, camera. Line up to camera to view. Okay, let's go to the top. So the camera is there. I'm going to take this light and line that up. There you go. So you see we've got this rim light going. around the outside there. I'm going to change that edgeware colour. Or was it? Oh, let's try this. There you go, that's more like it. Add a little bit of rust maybe. Bring it down a bit. Not a fan of that. Right, just the visor a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of now. There you go, that looks more like it. Okay. Maybe I will add a little bit of wear onto the visor as well. See how it's looking. There you go, that's quite nice. Right, I think we will probably stop there. I hope you enjoyed following along. You got any questions or requests, please leave a comment down below or email me at design with Simon at outlook.com.